Hello, everyone, and welcome to Physio Minds. I'm your host, Alex, and this is my co-host.
Hey guys, this is Theo.
Awesome. So what we're doing today is we're going to introduce ourselves a little bit, tell you a little bit about each other's life and how we met. It's actually a kind of a funny story, if you think about it, where we came from and how we got to where we are today. So we're two physical therapy students, and we live in Miami, Florida. Currently, we are not in Florida. Well, at least one of us isn't. Theo, you want to tell us where you are?
I'm in Frederick, Maryland. It's a little outside Baltimore. And it's definitely not like Miami. It's really cold right now, as you can see, with the sweater, the beanie. Haven't figured out how to work the heater, so we're struggling a little bit, but we're gonna get through it.
I could definitely see the struggle right now, so that's okay. Currently, I'm in Fort Myers, Florida for a clinical rotation, and Theo's on his second rotation as well as I am. And yeah, we just want to tell you guys a little bit about us. And, this is kind of an informal PT podcast show. So we'll be talking about various subjects and whatnot. So let's see. Do you remember when our first interview was, or when we had our interview? Was it like March or April?
For PT school, you mean?
Yeah, for PT school.
Right. So I want to say I think it was more closer to summertime, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was around
We started fall, so I think it was
May, June.
could be, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So here I am. I flew down from Chicago because that's where I'm from. And I fly down to Chicago, and I actually ended up staying at a hotel near Kendall, which is where Theo currently lives, or his family resides. And so I'm in Kendall, and it's about a 45-minute drive to school. And I'm like, man, I should have stayed closer to actual Miami. But so I get ready in the morning. I get there early, and I'm reading the list of names, trying to find my name to sign in. And I see last name, and I see his last name, and I see that it's Greek. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's another Greek kid that I can try to connect with. I sit down, and I think the meeting had already started. It was like 7:59, 8:05 or something like that. And here comes Theo. I had no idea who he was. I was like, who's this pit bull looking guy walking in here? And I think you sat down next to me.
Yeah.
And then I saw your name again. And I was like, oh, you're Greek, huh? Theo looks at me. He's like, yeah, I'm Greek. Why? He's like, are you Greek? And I was like, yeah, I am. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we started talking, and then that's basically how we met. And then we talked some shit, here and there, starting to talk in Greek.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, for those who don't know, there's a pretty big Greek community in Miami. So, and I think there's one in Chicago as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it was definitely random seeing it was. I think the interview was like maybe like 10, 15 people, and like I sat next to like the one other Greek guy in like the whole program.
Right.
So it was funny coincidence, came really tight since then. Finished all PT school together, studying together, practicals, the works. And here we are doing a podcast now. So
I know, right?
It's been a roller coaster.
No, it's crazy because I tell people I'm Greek, but I'm also half Hispanic. And when Theo goes, actually, I'm not 100% Greek. I'm also half Hispanic. I was like, no freaking way.
Well, I mean, in Miami, you're like, even if you're not Cuban, you're somehow Cuban. You know what I mean? So I'm Greek Cuban. We call it Gruben. So
I don't even have a nickname for mine because it's Bolivian and Greek. So we either say like Bolivian or I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, you got to figure that one out, man. Important.
Yeah, I know it's easy for you guys. You're Gruben. That's easy.
A Gruben sandwich.
Yeah. So how did you I don't think I've ever asked you this, but how did you apply to PT school? Did you have like other schools that you wanted to apply to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everybody applies to like multiple schools. I actually had a funny application process. So again, for whoever doesn't know, applying to PT school, there's like a common app for it. Um, I think it's called PT CAS,
Yeah.
and basically you answer general information, and then you select the programs that you want to apply to. Some have like essays, whatever. So I think I applied to like 6, 7 programs. Each one, I don't remember. Do you remember how much the application fee was? Like $100 or something?
No,
Like,
it's too much money. They're
yeah,
making so much money off of
yeah.
people.
And then you got to send transcripts, and for each school you send transcripts, you got to pay money. Like it was a lot of money to apply. And I finished my whole application. It took me like, I think the whole process was like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks writing essays, applying, waiting, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then I got my first rejection letter, and I was like, oh damn, like that. So and they're like, oh, so I look at my application because it was something funny that I got in the rejection letter. They said something interesting. So I'm like, let me go look at this application. Turns out I submitted everything. Everything got like approved, verified, whatever. Transcripts were checked by the PTCast system, and they're like, yeah, these transcripts, like the grades make sense, whatever. But on my end, I actually forgot to click this button that said I approve that these transcripts are correct. And that's it. And because I didn't click that, like all the 7 schools, $1,000 that I spent in applications, like none of the schools could see my applications.
Yeah, that's stupid as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I should have read the instructions. You know what I mean? But anyway, so after I got like rejected for like a bunch of schools, I started applying to other schools that had rolling admissions. I ended up getting into this one, interviewed, crushed it, and it's been a great experience since. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say if you didn't get rejected from those schools, I don't think I would have met you.
yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Honestly, applying to PT school is such a pain in the ass. Like, I didn't only apply to PT school, I applied to PA school, and then I actually applied to one school for a master's in nursing degree because I thought I was going to be a nurse after that because I had no idea what was going on with my life. I was working as like a rehab tech
Right.
at a hospital for 2 years, and then finally I switched over to exercise phys cardiac rehab. And then I was like, dang, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I applied
Is
to,
that actually the promotion that you're saying that you got? Because like you're working at like a hospital, and you got some sort
yeah,
of like, okay.
yeah. So I was working as like as a physical therapy tech at a hospital, and I was there for 2 years, and I was doing more office work. And I started to get more office work and more stuff out of my zone or out of my practice that I should be doing. So eventually I was just like, okay, I need to change the pace. I need to do something different. So I was scrolling through the work, I don't know what it's called, like the system that they have, and it had like a bunch of jobs listed on their website. And I saw there was an exercise physiology position. So I ended up applying for it. I got rejected by the first one. I applied for another job that was exercise phys within the hospital system. I got it. And then I ended up doing like EKG classes with nurses for like a full week. And I had to take like this exam that I had no idea what the heck was going on. I failed the first time. Like, so before you can go on to the second part of the exam, which is like 80 something questions, you have to pass the first 10 questions with 100% because it's all like emergency EKGs that you should be reading. And
Right.
I had never seen EKGs the way that I was taught in school. In school, it's just like, okay, here's the heart rhythm, here's the QRS wave, here's the T wave, and you just kind of look through all that stuff, but it's nothing as what's it called? As like difficult as the one that I was doing now with the nurses. So I honestly, that's tough. But anyways, long story short, I did pass it. I get into the program, and as soon as I started becoming an exercise phys, about 2 months into it, I got accepted to PT school, and then there I am.
Yeah, so you got a new job, and you're like, all right, guys, peace out. Going
Yeah,
to PT school.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it was crazy because the one lady was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna retire soon. Um, you should stick around for a long time." Another girl was talking about vacationing, and then I walk in 3 weeks after I was already accepted, and I'm like, "Hey, by the way, I'm leaving to Miami, Florida in 2 weeks. Thank you guys for everything." And then I bounced.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough though. Applying to PT school is not easy.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's supplemental applications as well, and those are a pain in the asses.
Yeah. What did you give us a little background on like what you studied for undergrad? Like what are the prereqs for PT school? Like, how
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I went to University of Illinois at Chicago. So UIC, go Flames. And yeah, that was a good time. I studied kinesiology. So I graduated with exercise science degree. And the PT prerequisites that you have to take are anatomy and physiology, either together or separate, I believe. It's psychology. You need physics 1 and 2. You need chemistry.
Right.
Um, I think you need biology too. You need a biology class, but in
Yeah,
order to take anatomy, you have to take the bio classes.
yeah. And
I
then
think
some
you need
schools I
calc.
think also have like specific like what's it called? I had to take this one humanities class.
Oh yeah, so you need like a sociology or something in
Yeah, it
sociology.
was something like that that I had to take. Actually, I didn't take it in undergrad, and I had to do like an exam to get the credit for it or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it because it's physics, chemistry, biology, anatomy, physiology, psychology, sociology, and am I missing anything? Oh, math. I think you need Calc 1, right? Or pre-calc.
I don't remember that honestly. I think you might be need like a statistics or something.
Oh, that's what I was. Yeah, you need stats.
Statistics, which would make
Yeah.
more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah. How about you? Where did you go to
uh,
undergrad?
so I went to FSU in Tallahassee. Um, it was a good time. Um, I studied a lot. I went out a lot. I did. I
Too
got.
many good times at undergrad. Too many good times.
Yeah, I mean, you got to enjoy undergrad. Put the work in, but you got to have a little fun. First time living on by myself. You know what I mean? So it was good. I ended up getting 2 degrees. One was in exercise phys. The other one was in nutrition. Um, I never like really pursued licenses in either of them. I just kind of did basically like a pre-med track. I wasn't sure, what I wanted to do. And even I graduated and I still didn't know what I want to do. So I got a job because it's tough. It's tough, like saying, all right, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Like I had at that point, I hadn't worked a day in my life. I think I sold like, do you know what Cutco is? Like the knives or whatever?
Yeah. Is that like the what's that company? Starts with a V, right?
Vector, I think.
Vector. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So I sold knives for a little bit, but I was never like I never worked to see like, what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life, So after I finished school, like I think I took like a month, two off, and then I was like, all right, like I gotta get serious. Like, what am I doing? Am I going to graduate school? Or like,
yeah.
am I working? What am I doing? So I got a job. One of my friends told me there's like an opening for a PT tech position at, this clinic in Kendall. And I was like, all right, it pays, I get experience. I've always been interested in PT, um, whatever, does work. Let's see what it's all about. So yeah, I mean, I worked there for like 3 months. It was like a training period, and which was rough. I was making mistakes. After the 3 months, at that point, like I was like pretty comfortable in the job. It was more learning, less just like doing like tasks, like getting hot packs, cold packs,
Mhm.
getting equipment, wiping tables. It became more like, all right, like take this person through these exercises, you know what I mean? Or watch their form, um, and I fell in love with it. And then that's when I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm applying to PT school. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I
yeah,
mean,
man.
it's
And then
the crazy thing about it is like you do so much as a PT tech, and
for sure.
like the amount of things that I was thinking about what we do for physical therapists, I'm like really grateful for, because there's some people that don't uh who might not have experience as a tech previously going to PT school. They might have just observed, which is completely different.
Yeah.
So knowing and reading the mind of the therapist before they can tell you is
Yeah, that's
really
what it is, bro. That honestly, like you just have to be like proactive and like you have to know, okay, like you like I got to a point where it's like, all right, this patient is coming in with shoulder pain. I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, I didn't know much anatomy. Like I knew anatomy, right? But like not to the depth that I know now, obviously. So all
Right.
right, this patient's coming with shoulder pain. Like I'm thinking, okay, like exercise wise, like we're probably gonna do some sort of like scapular program. We're gonna do like rows or something like that, something along those lines.
Right. Right.
So I would start typing in the flow sheet, like, all right, we're gonna do rows today. We're gonna do this, and like I would get the hot pack ready because I know she likes to start with the heat. You know what I mean? And like, and honestly, that's how you become really good at your job, and that's how you become a good physical therapist because you're thinking ahead.
Mhm.
Like what is this person gonna need? And and things might change,
Right.
but you always got to be ready because things move fast. Um,
So
so
freaking fast.
fast.
Like especially now, like in our
Yeah.
clinics, in our clinicals. You want to talk about your clinical now a little bit, or like your first clinical? Which one do you want to talk?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk a little bit about. I'll just talk about clinicals in general. Like, I mean, right now I'm basically seeing like a full caseload. I'm seeing 100% of the patients, which is cool, right? Like,
I'm not, so that's why.
yeah, no, I'm seeing like 100% of the patients. I don't know how many it is, honestly. I haven't counted, but I think I'm seeing like close to between 40 to 50, somewhere around there a week.
I was like, dang,
Um,
one day.
nah, not
Are
one
you
day. Nah.
triple
I
booked?
mean, I think my max in one day so far has been like 15, which it was like,
Odd.
yeah, it was a 12-hour shift. So
Yeah.
15 it was a lot, but it was like it was manageable,
Right.
you know. Um, and I don't have a tech, I don't
Okay.
have a PTA. Some days I have like an athletic trainer that comes in and like we use them kind of as like skilled techs.
Mhm.
But it's like basically they're there for like I think 2 hours out of the day. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like it's helpful, right? But like I think they're also there like at our slowest points.
Mhm.
So I delegate, a little bit, but it's also kind of like, all right, I have like one patient right now, so I don't need that much help. But when it gets to the point that I have two, three patients, they all need manual therapy or, you got to be in like two places at once. That's when a tech is nice. They could be your eyes and ears a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Because in my clinic that I'm at right now, we don't have any techs. We do have PTAs. PTAs are great, by the way. They're awesome. Not to say the PTs aren't, but the ones that I've worked with in all my clinics they've been great. They know exactly what we want to do, or they can like read your mind well, which is like you said, it's part of the job.
Yeah.
And becoming or being a PT tech prior to becoming a PT is really going to help with that. But yeah, I think the max load that I'm seeing right now is I want to say 80 to 95% of the patient caseload, unless it's something really complicated. He or my CI doesn't really want me to interact with him or not interact, but he'll probably take over if anything.
Okay.
Um, let's talk about what we feel about different spots in Miami. So like we're in school, we're in Miami, we're there. Do you remember you text me? You're like, yo, bro, text me if you're in the Kendall area so we can go get a drink.
Yeah, because
Right?
you were there for like a night for the interview, right?
Yeah, I
Like
was
you were
there
there.
2 days.
Yeah, and I had hit you up. I was like, yo, send me a text if like, you want to go out in Kendall. Cause I'm like, I'm not gonna, cause again, Kendall to like downtown or anywhere is like 40, 45 minutes. So I'm like, yo, like I'll go out in Kendall, right? Like we can go get a beer, whatever. Um, Anyway, go on with the story.
No, I just remember that because I was like, bro, who is this kid? I was like, he's trying to take me. What the heck is a Kendall? I had no idea what the heck he was doing. I told you I ended up going to like Blue Martini or something like that in
Yeah,
Kendall.
yeah, Blue Martini Kendall. It's a
Yeah.
spot. It's a spot. It's a spot.
I ended up getting like a drink there, and then I left like the next morning at like 6 a.m. It was
Yeah,
crazy. I flew in late at night the day before, went all day through the whatever it was that we had orientation, and then after that I flew out the next morning, which was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, uh, spots to get food and drinks. I mean, even during class now, we would go to
Yeah.
like size and stuff.
I mean, big food guy. You know this. So, I mean, around us, around campus, we had Versailles. That was really good. Pretty like cheap, like not Mexican, Cuban food. We had La Careta. We had Emily's Cafe, the
Emily's Cafe,
spot.
shout out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go back.
They used to give, and they probably still do give those like grandma candies.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember strawberry ones? Yo, that's what's up. I love a good like candy after my meal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Dessert is a big part of my
yeah,
part of my
big dessert
diet.
guy.
At
Uh,
one at one point, don't you remember we were gonna call this Cookie Boys?
the cookie, yeah, yeah. We were thinking about names for podcasts, and we are thinking Cookie Boys because obviously we love cookies.
Oh man.
Uh, anyway, we decided to go a different route. That's besides the point. And then, there was also this like, I gotta give him a shout out. I forget what the restaurant's the little cafe, by the
Oh
fountain.
yeah, the cafe within the business area.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but they have this almond croissant,
Oh my
and I
god.
know what you're thinking. Almond croissant, what the hell is that? It's fire. Highly recommend. I think I put Courtney on the almond croissant, and now she'll vouch. Um,
Yo, the amount of times you talked about this almond croissant. I think
it's,
I've tried it once with you because you're like, you have to try it. It's like, okay, bro.
I'm serious
Yeah,
about this.
yeah,
It's
dude.
good.
Yo, they got a sponsor for almond
Yeah,
croissants here.
free almond croissants for life. I'm with it.
That's crazy though. I mean, there's some other good places around there, Koyu Taco, but that's a little bit further
Yeah,
away.
yeah. I mean, in general, Miami food spots, like you're gonna have some good like Latin food. Coyo Taco's good. The quesadilla, highly recommend.
Yeah.
What other
Tap
spots we got?
42.
What's that?
Tap 42.
Yeah, Tap 42. If you also want a beer, the
Yeah.
spot.
Or the bar.
The bar, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll get food at the bar unless I'm like hungry, but obviously I'm always hungry. Yeah, but there's definitely some good spots in Miami for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, there's always something to do and there's always something to eat.
Yeah, every day, like, there's like some bar has some special, and I mean, I love going like shopping the deals, you know what I mean? Because I do not have a lot of money. I haven't gotten a paycheck since
Yeah,
like 2014.
it's been a minute.
Like, so
Yo, the crazy thing is when I moved down from Chicago, they have happy hours, but it's always like 5 to 7 or like 7 to 9. It's weird hours. It's like 3 to 5. Not a lot of people are out yet, and they do it on purpose. But in Miami, there was a happy hour every single day of like every single time.
yep.
It was like when I came down here, I was like, is this normal for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's spots that just have happy hour all day. For like margaritas, for example.
Yeah.
They have every day a happy hour every day besides the weekend. There's other ones that like great happy hour, the Wharf 4 to 7.
Oh yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, big fan of the Wharf. But yeah, man. I mean, in general, if you're gonna go to PT school, Miami's a nice place to do it. We got the beach, the weather's nice all year round.
For sure.
You might get hit by a hurricane, but after your first one, you'll be all right.
That's funny you bring it up because when I was coming down for PT school, it was supposed to be, I drove down from Chicago, and I had my car and I had my trailer, and my dad was there. He was working in the car while I'm driving. Um, but the crazy thing was, it was during a hurricane. I can't remember. It was 2019 of August, but there was some hurricane happening then. And I'm driving down. I'm calling people that are already down there. I'm like, "Hey, are you leaving Miami? Like, are they worried?" And basically, all people from Miami were like, "No, no, it's okay. It's gonna be fine."
It's only like a category 2, bro. It's not
It
that
was, well, how
bad.
am I supposed to know?
Yeah, yeah,
I've
no.
never been through a hurricane, knock on wood. And driving down, it said like I could see on the tolls, it's like open tolls, and you see a bunch of people leaving, and I'm the idiot that's going straight towards it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I was like, I start school Monday, so I better be there.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, it like was that the only hurricane experience you had when you were down there, or because I feel like we haven't had a good one, like a strong one in a
That
while.
was the only one I know of, other than like the tropical storms, but I don't even know how
Yeah,
you guys
tropical
categorize
storms.
that.
Yeah,
You said it was like wind speed or something that you guys categorize it that way.
yeah, exactly. It goes by wind speed, and don't ask me what the numbers are. I know like after a certain wind speed, it goes from tropical storm to category 1, and
Right.
then it goes 2, 3 again with wind speed. But typically, like the wind isn't the worst part. It's typically flooding. Especially like Brickell gets bad, with flooding. Like it'll be
Right.
like buildings are flooded,
Right.
and that's really causes the most damage. It's not necessarily the wind.
Yeah,
um,
because I was gonna say Brickell, is that technically downtown Miami or no? Because if it is, I've seen videos where that place just gets flooded. And what I
yeah,
mean, it's like almost knee-high water.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Honestly, insane. Another thing I wanted to bring up before we end today's session was just to kind of recap of what this podcast is going to be about. We're just bringing you information about PT school itself, experiences that we've had. Um, Later on, what we want to do is bring in other special guests on the show. That way, you can hear their experiences, whether it be in an orthopedic setting, pediatric setting, inpatient, which is like a hospital setting.
Right.
So it's not just
And
going to be us two talking the entire
yeah,
time.
yeah, you'll get bored of us, but just to add to that, I think something we also want to do is get like other professions in here too. Occupational therapy. I know our program had like a close relationship with occupational therapy, so we have connections there. I would like to get like speech therapy
Yeah.
involved. And just like other professions, it's good to get like insight from other clinicians, other professionals, their experiences and what they
Right.
can do.
Exactly. So we'll eventually reach out to medical doctors. We'll reach out to nurses, and even down to CNAs and respiratory therapists. Especially now during COVID times, everybody's been using respiratory therapists as like the number one provider.
Yeah.
Everything going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming. Goodbyes suck. Don't really know how to do them, so we're just gonna say see you next time. And the next episode, we're gonna talk about how to survive PT school, and we'll explain to you what didactic means. So, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
There you go.